Hey, shalom, shalom. All right, before I get started with this lesson today, I just want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachakwadash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well, and peace and salutations unto the elect. All right, now, in this lesson, all right, I just want to go into this news here, all right, by Fox News, as it reads, alarming, another Chinese national accused of smuggling bioweapon into U.S. All right, and I just played a video, but I'm gonna get another video going into the same thing. How two other Chinese, before this, Chinese students came over, with some type of bioweapon too. You see, but I'm gonna play both videos and get to my point.
To say the least. The feds arrest a third Chinese national for allegedly smuggling biological materials into the United States.
You see, the third Chinese national. You see, so it happened before. It happened before, and it was pretty recently. And I'm gonna get that news. I'm gonna get that video soon hereafter. So let's get into it.
And making false statements about it. According to the DOJ, the suspect is a PhD student in Wuhan. They say she sent 4 packages containing the concealed materials to a laboratory at the University of Michigan. Joining us now is Fox News contributor Andy McCarthy, a former assistant U.S. attorney. And I want to run by what a current U.S. attorney said about all of this. This is Jerome F. Gorgon Jr. The alleged smuggling of biological materials by this alien from a science and technology university in Wuhan, China, to be used at a University of Michigan laboratory is part of an alarming pattern that threatens our security. The American taxpayer should not be underwriting a PRC-based smuggling operation at one of our crucial public institutions. I mean, the fact that this stuff came from Wuhan, what are you thinking?
Well, it's alarming, John. Usually when you're talking about bioweapons, according to the complaint, what we're talking about here is roundworm, which is a parasite. So it's not a virus or a bacteria or a toxin, which is what we generally look for with bioweapons. But it's alarming in a number of ways. It could be involved in, contamination of humans, of agriculture, of water supply. So you have to be concerned about that. The fact that it's coming from China, the fact that the student evidently swiped or wiped the communications device she had clean before she came here, I think 3 days before coming to the United States. All of that is alarming. I think, though, the Justice Department appears to be going at it with, appropriate caution. According to the press release they put out, they said that they hadn't even decided whether to indict the case yet. This person was arrested on a complaint, so we'll have to see going forward. I think they're trying.
That was pretty much it. If you would like, all right, to watch the whole video, you have the channel name and the title, all right, here. But I want to get this other video going into the first two, all right, that came over to the U.S. with a bioweapon, so to speak. Oh, hold on, right here.
Okay, well, there's...
All right, as you see, this shocking 2 Chinese nationals, so that would be the third. All right, 2 Chinese nationals, and this is before the events of the video that I showed. It says 2 Chinese nationals accused of smuggling toxic fungus into U.S. You see? And this is by Sky News Australia.
So much news going on. We don't want to miss any of the other things that have been happening this week, and that's why we're joined now by Peter Schweitzer, president of the Government Accountability Institute and author of Red-Handed: How American Elites Got Rich Helping China Win. Peter, thanks for joining me today. And there's a really disturbing story I heard about this week coming out of Michigan, where 2 Chinese students are being investigated for bringing in a toxic fungus to the United States. Now, according to reports, the FBI said authorities also found, along with the fungus, a scientific article on one of the two's phones titled "Plant Pathogen Warfare Under Changing Climate Conditions." The charges have been laid against 2 of these students for conspiracy smuggling, false statements, and visa fraud. But this, Peter, is a really shocking story with some really terrifying implications. Tell us about it.
Yeah, it is. I mean, China operates under something called disintegration warfare, and it's basically we are going to be at war with the West, Australia, the United States, and Europe. We're going to do it short of kinetic warfare because we don't want a shooting war, but we're going to use things like fentanyl, for example, or plant pathogens to make life very difficult for these countries. And this seems to be another example of that type of warfare. And I think it speaks to the larger problem, this debate we're having in the United States about the role of Chinese students. I mean, look, I think we all would love to have students come from around the world, learn, help the United States learn more on scientific issues. The problem is when you look at so many of the issues taking place, it involves Chinese students. Look at the issue of fentanyl. I mean, the Drug Enforcement Agency has been saying it for years. The money laundering that takes place by the drug cartels in the United States oftentimes is done by Chinese students who are in the United States on student visas. They bring suitcases of cash to Chinese state-owned banks in the United States to launder the money. You have this.
And again, I'm going to stop it there. All right. If you would like to watch the whole video, you have the title, the page here, and the title of the video. But now getting into my point that I want to make, all right, with these two videos, all right, of these 3 Chinese nationals or students coming to the U.S. and smuggling toxic substances or bioweapons into the U.S. I believe through my spiritual, now just meditating on these things, and I was thinking through the spirit that Esau Edom is setting the stage up, all right, to ultimately blame, all right, China, all right, for a sickness coming to America. You see, but in reality, all right, it's going to be these people's own government, all right, America, starting with the elites. They're going to be bringing the sickness, but they're going to deceive the people in thinking that it was China and somebody brought this sickness over here, stuff like that. But in reality, it's their own government putting this sickness out there to the people to what? To collapse, to collapse society. You see, because we know that the goal of the national banking, well, not national, but the banking families, the numerous banking families, are the elites of the society, which is Esau Edom, according to the Bible. The true biblical nationality is Edom, Esau Edom, which are the so-called white men, starting with the elites of the society. We know that their ultimate goal, is to issue out their NWO. And in order to do that, they have to cause order out of chaos. You see, order out of chaos. They manufacture the chaos, and then they bring about that order, which is ultimately going to lead to the MOTB. You see, so we know that a black flag event has to happen. Something that's going to, be very impactful, to America. Something's going to come. Some type of big event is going to come to this place. We know it. You see, us that are in the know, that have the Holy Spirit, we know that something big is coming, because we know that these Edomites, starting with the elites, they want to bring about their NWO, and they have to do that by bringing in chaos. You see, and this could be them setting the stage up for bringing about, some type of sickness, but you deceiving the people and thinking that it's China that did it by basically, how should I say it, by going into these 3 Chinese nationals coming over here with bioweapons. You see, so you see how, if that makes sense, they're basically trying to place the blame on China, just like they did with, the CVID. I can't say the whole word, because of YouTube, but the CVID, just like with the Pandeezy. You see, it came bats out of China, Wuhan, China. You see, but really, we all know that was a manufactured sickness, the CVID, manufactured by what? The government. You see, just to get these people juiced up. All right, but let's go into it. Let's go into the scriptures. All right, because I wanted to get Matthew. Let's get Matthew 24. All right, and Matthew 24 and verse. We'll start at verse 3. All right, so this is Matthew 24 and verse 3, and as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be? When shall be the sign of thy coming and the end of the world? You see, so the disciples were basically asking our Lord Yahushua, All right, what's going to be the signs to look for of your coming, and what's going to be the signs of the end of the world? And when it's speaking of the end of the world, it's not talking about the end of a world as in the whole earth is going to explode and the whole earth is going to just end. No, it's talking about the end of an age. All right, and this has been broken down, all right, many, many times here on this channel and all throughout GMS, starting with the apostles and elders on down. But I just want to get straight to the point. You see, so the disciples were asking for the signs. They were asking Yahushua for the signs. All right, verse 4, it says, and Yahushua answered and said unto them, take heed that no man deceive you. For many shall come in my name, saying that I am a Mashiach, and shall deceive many. Verse 6, and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. And right, we see that today. All right, the new war that broke out with Israel, all right, and Iran. You see, this is not World War III, but it's the build up to it. You see, but what, as it says here, the end is not yet. You see, we see Iran, all right, and Israel, all right, going at it, all right, but we know the end is not yet. This is just a build up to it. This is just a rumor of war. This is just the beginning. All right, verse 7. All right, it says,